everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the CSAC, a platform where we give our student athletes, the platform to talk about whatever they want to talk about, just to express themselves, opportunity for you all to learn them outside of, just their sport. And today I have the pleasure and the honor of, welcoming Elizabeth Singleton, Clark Summit, Schenectady, New York, fifth year player, um, and the reigning most valuable player of our conference last year. Also won our conference championship last year. So welcome to the show, Liz. We're
Thank you.
happy to
Thank
have
you.
you, and yeah, we're hoping for a great combo today
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
for sure. So just kind of jumping into it, I mentioned that you were just our reigning MVP right now, so you
Mhm.
kind of have that chip that everybody wants to get to you. You won
Yeah.
the conference championship last year, so they're definitely coming after you. Just kind of talk about, what it took to get there a little bit,
Yeah.
different obstacles you had to, what that championship meant to you last year.
Yeah. No, last year the championship meant a lot. It meant a lot to me, it meant a lot to my team. Um, just for the team aspect, looking back 2 years ago, um, we lost a centenary in the playoffs, and we shouldn't have lost. I'm not saying centenary wasn't a good team back then, like props to them for beating us, but we just shouldn't have lost. And that was just definitely heartbreaking for a lot of us. And last year, a lot of us came back, like Randy came back, Tori came back, Michaela came back, when they could have like started their lives, because we all wanted to chase that chip together and we were able to get it. So like that was super special for the team. For me, it was a whole like separate journey. Um, so after we lost secondary, that next year for everybody it was a COVID year, but for me it was rehab. I tore my ACL in like April of 2020, and I didn't end up getting surgery till like towards the end of the year, and I was out. And so even though like a lot of teams like weren't playing anyway, like I had to like overcome injury, and that was really tough mentally, and it was really tough physically. Like anyone who has overcome any injuries could tell you, like that takes a toll on your body and your mind. So getting back to that chip, I mean not to the chip playoffs because we didn't get to the chip last year, but obviously like it was our goal to win the championship because we knew the talent we had and we knew that we were more than capable of winning. Um, Being able to get there and win the championship and have personal accolades come with it, just it meant a lot. It just felt good to like see that like my hard work had paid off. So that was really cool.
You kind of touched on, just kind of mental health with, that COVID year. It kind of threw us all for a loop. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
expect it to happen. We were kind of, in a dark place with not knowing if we were going to be able to play basketball, if we were going to be able to play all our sports. So just kind of touch on, for our student athletes, what, mental health, how important is it, and, just battling every day, trying to make sure your schedule is great. You're working out, and I understand like with certain obstacles we can't control, such as COVID, but like we have to keep our mental, above par. So like just kind of touch on that for me.
Yeah, no, mental health is everything. I think that it's super important that athletes take care of themselves. Like there's a lot of pressure, like unknown pressure that people just wouldn't even imagine that get put on athletes to perform, to do well. Like not only do we have to do well on the court or the field, but we have to do well in the classroom. And it could take a toll. It could take a big toll. Like I know for me personally, like even this past year, like I've had to take a day off and just focus on myself and my mind. Like I think that is so important, and I think that something that I am glad that is getting prioritized now. I feel like that's something that like has been almost like bashed in the past, like, oh no, like always play, always play. But like no, sometimes like athletes need a break. Like athletes are human just like everybody else is. And so after COVID, I know that like that's a good toll on like everybody in the country. Athletes as well, like not being able to play their sport, like not being able to do what they love. And so like I always tell somebody like their mental health always comes first. Like that's what comes first because that's your life. Like at the end of the day, like sports is just a game. Like like I'm a Christian, so like I always say to people like sports just a game. At the end of the day, like what matters is where you're going, or what matters is like what's going on in your mind. Like that's stuff that matters. Being with your family, things like that. So I don't know. I'm a big advocate for mental health.
Touching on, you being a Christian and you obviously going to, Clarkson University,
Mm-hmm.
what stress does, your coaches and just different faculty around campus put on, the importance of mental health, and how do they help you, student athletes or even non-student athletes around campus?
Yeah, no, our faculty and staff here are great. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, they really care about you as a person. And a lot of the faculty and staff come and support our games. And our coach Marv, he emphasized mental health. Like, the first thing he said to us when he came is like, "Hey, if you ever need a date, just let me know." And so, like, you know, they want to make sure that we're doing well. Like, in here, this is what matters. And so, like, that's one of the reasons why I came to the school. Like, I wasn't just a face in the crowd. Like, people actually care about you. They care about what you're doing with your life, like who you're becoming, and what your future looks like. And so, like, a part of that is mental health. So, like, that gets prioritized. So, like, I've never been afraid of like say I was having a hard week, like asking for an extension on an assignment. Because I know like a teacher will like always like if it's a legit reason, like be like, yeah, of course, like that comes first. So like I feel like that's what's really special about this place is that like they actually really care about you and you as a person.
So, um, you saying that, your faculty and staff, they care about you, your coaches care about you, people around the community, that Clark Summit community, they all care about you and they want to see you all succeed, not just in your sport, but also, after sports, in your everyday life. Um, and I feel as though in Division III world, we're pretty unique. We have that great balance between, our academics and then our sports.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, they're very important to us, but we don't really prioritize one over the other because, we're here to play our sport. We're also here to get our education and build those relationships and get those internships for jobs in our future. So just kind of touch on, what opportunities that you might have from, just the community or Scranton or Clark Summit in general, that might help you for your career.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities here. At CSU, they always plug you in somewhere. So like they will never ever just like leave you like just to say go off into the world. Like no, like they
Right.
prepare you well. There's always opportunities. So for me, I had a very unique degree. I am in sports and recreational ministries. So a lot of people do management, but I'm in ministries. And so I have had a lot of opportunities to talk to people who have been in that field and have been able to like actually go to like ministries and like teach lessons and things like that. Um, so, I mean, personally, like this is my fifth year. So I did come back, but if I was to go into the real world right now, like I would have been well prepared for whatever occupation I was looking to go into.
Right. And I feel as though that's a lot of our institutions, well, all of our institutions and especially the Colonial States Athletics Conference, we want to prepare our students as much as possible for the real world outside of their sport. So I
Hmm.
know Clark Summit does a great job, and I know all of our other institutions do a great job as well. While we are competitive on the court, we're very mindful of what comes next, right?
Hmm. Absolutely.
So we kind of hopped around a little bit, but um, you kind of have a unique story with coming to Clark Summit, and I just
Yeah.
want to kind of explore that because we kind of talked a little bit off air, with how you ended up coming to Clark Summit, and from our conversation, you probably weren't even looking at Clark Summit at first. So,
Yeah.
sometimes things just happen. So if you want to explore that a little bit for us and tell us, what kind of led you here and how your journey has been thus far at Clark Summit.
Yeah, so I'll start back a little ways. So say like my junior year, senior year of high school, I was not looking at any Christian schools. So I came from a Christian high school and obviously like I really love basketball and I was getting recruited to play it like I would say like higher levels. Like I'm not trying to like to my own horn, but like I had opportunities to go there. But then one day, like this is where my faith comes in. I felt like the Lord was telling me and guiding me to go to a Christian college. And so my mom cracks me up because she was like, Liz, like we haven't looked at any Christian schools. Like, why do you take all that time? My mom was so supportive. And at the end of the day, she was like, well, this is what God is calling you to do. This is what he's calling you to do. So I ended up going to a school called Davis College, which is in Binghamton, which is about an hour from here, which was a great experience. My coaches there and the coaching staff there were just amazing. And all the faculty and staff, I say, would remind me a lot of CSU. They really cared about you and they really cared about who you were and what you were becoming in life. And that was a great experience. It was a bunch of us that came from there. So you guys might know Michaela McLeod, Allie and Katie McKee. Like those are some of the names that were on the roster
Yeah.
last year who won the chip. Um, I'm not sure if I'm missing any, but we all came from Davis College where we actually won our conference there. So like that was a cool opportunity. But we came here because our school kind of like our school like moved. Well, like I don't really know how to explain it. So our school now is it was in Binghamton, but now it's like affiliated with Word of Life,
Right.
which is like a pretty big like ministry school, like a lot of like camp ministries. I think it's amazing. Anyone should check out Word of Life. It's like a 1 year program, but with Davis being there, which is my whole old school, they made it turn into a 4 year program. And so like after I left Davis, I looked at Word of Life to possibly go there. I just felt like that wasn't really for me. It's an all Bible school. And at that point in time, like I wanted to go to a little bit of a bigger school. Not to like down Word of Life or anything, but um we ended up looking here our whole team drove a bus and we all visited Clark Summit, and all of us who were eligible ended up coming here, which is unheard of. Like it's just unheard of. Like we all were like, this is the spot for us. And like it was such a God thing because like not only did like everybody embrace us, and Coach Harrison just took the time to just really get to know us, and um just like everyone just like appreciated who we were despite like where we came from, despite like us like literally transferring a different school, like they still loved us. But like it was just nice to have everybody come. Like it was like my family never left because I was sad. I was super sad that our school was closing. Because I was like, God, why did you lead me to a place just to take me out of it? But like God knows what he's doing, and that was the perfect foundation for me and for my teammates to be there, for us to come here and be able to be impacted here, and ended up winning a chip 2 years later. Yeah.
So everything kind of, worked out in your favor, and
Mm-hmm.
you're still here. You're pursuing your master's degree now.
Mm-hmm.
So things are just kind of working out for you. And
Yeah.
in one of my other podcasts, I kind of touched on like with Coach Sean West over at Brent Athen. I kind of touched on about how, sometimes you don't really know your path, but it's just about, sometimes you got to make a left in order to still stay on that straight road. So, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
as though, you have that kind of same path that, I kind of went on with my transfer and everything. And,
Mm-hmm.
as student athletes, we definitely appreciate that, the journey.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you winning the chip and everything at Clark Summit, it obviously meant a lot to you, meant a lot to your family, meant a lot to Clark Summit. Um, and then coming back, returning for your fifth year. Um, let's just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So you came back. You have goals in mind. You know
Mm-hmm.
what you want to accomplish for yourself and for your team.
Mm-hmm.
But also you're still a student. So just kind of before we get into the athletic side, let's kind of talk about the academic side. What have been the differences from being an undergrad to now being in graduate school, and how your schedule's changed a little bit, and how you do things a little different now that you're a fifth year.
Yeah. Um, Man, it has changed. So before I was a grad student, I would wake up every morning, like go to like 3 classes a day. We had chapel every day. I was with people all day. That is not the case. Being a grad student, it's almost like you're in like your own separate world in a sense. Um, so I'm a grad student online actually. So most of my classes I just take right online, and I'm in the dorm still. And so that has allowed me to have the opportunity just to like meet a lot of different people and pour into other people here. Because like I am one of the older people around here. Like I'm not that old, obviously. I'm only 22, but like still like not many people like come back for like a grad year. Like that's something special. Like if you see someone who came back, especially for D3, seeing someone come back and doing their grad year, like that's really special. For like example, yesterday, we played Rosemont and I dabbed up one of the players because I was like, yo, kudos to you for coming back for your grad year. Like that's cool. Like that means you like really love the sport. And so like I just have the opportunity just to like pour in other people. Like I feel like I've had more time on my hands, which might not be the case for every grad student, but like I have been really blessed with the opportunity just to like, I don't know, just figure out stuff things for myself. Like college is like this, it's just so quick. And like it's just like I've kind of been able to like stop and like settle down and like breathe and like look at my life. And so like I don't know. It's not what I necessarily expected it to be, but it's definitely what I needed. Just time to myself, but also time to just pour on other people and to learn from other people. So I definitely am appreciating my grad year, and I don't regret coming back at all.
Right. And you coming back this year, obviously on the staff, you guys did have a coaching change. With Coach Evans being the new coach over at Clark Summit. So kind of explore that relationship for us. What he's been to you, and kind of what your previous when you guys won a chip with your previous coach, Coach Harrison. So just kind of explore what that relationship was, and now with this relationship that Coach Evans has with you and the rest of the athletes.
Yeah, no. Coach Harrison, man, that was like a father figure to me. Like that's somebody who's impacted my life greatly, especially off the court. Like he has taught me to just love other people well and care for them and there for them. And I will thank him forever for that. And I will always have a relationship with him. Um, I miss him. I definitely miss him just being around. But I also really appreciate Coach Evans. Like Coach Evans knows what he's doing. He's a fantastic coach, and I feel blessed for the opportunity for him to even coach me. Like when he came in, I'm like, "Why are you here?" Like, not that like Clark someone doesn't deserve a coach like that, but at the same time, like, I mean, he came from coaching D1, and like he said that the Lord led him here, and like I knew that it was all for a reason because at first I wasn't gonna come back for my 5th year. Um, but I felt like that was the thing to do. And so like when he came, I was like, this all makes sense. Like opportunity just to be coached by a coach with his caliber, like man, like what a blessing, what a privilege. And I feel like I've already gotten a lot better this year as a player. And I'm looking forward to seeing like how he continues to push me because he pushes me to be a better player all around. And I'm looking to see how good I can get.
So, obviously you talking about Coach Evans a little bit. We kind of discussed him a little bit when we met prior to, and the topic of diversity and inclusion came up. And that's a,
Yep.
a major topic around NCAA right
Mhm.
now, and it will continue to be because we're starting to expand. We see different, people in positions that you might not have seen them in the past. So, and I know and especially in our conference, we're starting, to emphasize diversity and inclusion, not with just sports, but just on campus in general. So, just
Mhm.
what does diversity mean to you, and how important is it?
It means a lot to me. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna be proud of being a Black woman. Like, I mean, who wouldn't be? Um, I mean, at CSU, like, we're definitely growing in that department of diversity. That's something like I'm very passionate about. Just like seeing more people like me on campus. Um, but like, it's tough. Like, like it's not like no one means like not being diverse. Like, that's just not what it is. And like, I know our school does a really good job of like making sure that like we are seeing like Black History Month and different things like that. But like, man, Coach Evans coming, game changer. Like he has impacted our community already. He's only been here a couple months. Just like having someone there to go to, like especially like I know our men's basketball team, I really appreciate him being there. Because he was him back in the day. Like I guess like he was winning all the awards and like he was that guy. Um, so like that's just been a blessing for our school and a big blessing for me. Like, I mean, it's not like it's a secret that like I was the only Black person like on our whole roster and coaching staff. So like having Coach Evans here has just been nice. Like, not that it like changes everything, but like it's just nice, and that's something that people like really won't understand unless they like experience it.
Experience it, yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Like people are like, well, why does that matter? And I'm like, it doesn't matter, but at the same time, it does. Like it does. So like that's been the biggest blessing. Just being able to talk to him and just being able to go to him about just different things has just been really cool.
Correct. And sometimes, those relationships that they're kind of what you need, especially on campus, being away from family. Just somebody that you can talk to,
Mhm.
tell them, whatever. Like you said about Coach Harrison, just another father figure in your life,
Mhm.
somebody that you can relate to. So I definitely know you definitely appreciate Coach Evans.
Yeah.
And shout out to Coach Cooper at Keystone because I appreciated him when I was over there at Keystone as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. Let's kind of transition a little bit now. Let's talk about some of these accolades.
All right.
Um, so obviously, I already mentioned once before, and I'm gonna keep mentioning it again. Just let you know how much I appreciate your game. Player of the year last year, won the conference championship, went on to NCAA tournament. So you've built a nice resume for yourself.
Thank
Obviously you
you.
said you won the resume. You won that conference tournament at Davis College as well. So
Mhm.
you build a nice resume. You're going to continue building, as your career keeps going. Um, right now, you're leading the conference in points per game, 23 points a game, 9.9 rebounds a game. So you're averaging a double double, second in the conference in rebounds, and then 11th in scoring in the nation. So you're putting it on right now. You're pouring on the low, and obviously every time you go into a game, like a lot of eyes are on you. You're on a lot of scouting reports. So let's just talk about some of your goals, that you have for yourself right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, like I wouldn't have came back if I didn't have goals. So, not only do I like to push myself, but I know Coach Evans has also been pushing me as well. Um, so one goal that I try to is I try to keep my turnovers down. Like I want to be like efficient and when I play. So between turnovers, like the first thing I always look at in the stat sheet, and people probably don't believe me, but it's the truth. I always look at how many turnovers did I have, and what's my field goal percentage, because I take pride in that. So I mean that's always been my goals. Like all 4 years I've played basketball, that's always been my goals. But for this year specifically, I have a goal to hit 2,000 points this year, Lord willing, 1,000 rebounds this year, Lord willing. And I mean, obviously, I'm gonna go and try to chase back-to-back MVPs of the league. Like, I got some competition. I see them. I respect them. Obviously, I respect everybody, but doesn't mean I'm gonna go out there and do everything I can to get that. It's in the team. Obviously, it's a team award. I've always said that. Like, you're not gonna have 10 assists without your team. Like, it's a team award. But that's a goal, and obviously, we're gonna chase that chip back to back. That's our main goal. Like, and I believe that like us chasing that, like all other goals will come into play with a team aspect. Like, but then I would say the biggest goal that me and Coach Evans have is to be an All-American this year, which is definitely a lofty goal. But like, hey, I'm gonna chase that dream, and I'm gonna do everything I can to possibly get that. So we'll see. We'll see what God has in store for us.
Obviously, the CSAC, we're supporting you and all of our other student athletes. So we hope you reach those goals.
Thank you.
Um, so you kind of touched on some of your personal goals, and let's talk about a little bit some of the team goals, whether it's getting better every day in practice, or
Mhm.
just improving from some things that you guys did last year that you want to do a little better to win another chip. Just kind of touch on that, what
Mhm.
Coach Evans set for you guys, and also what you all set for yourself.
Yeah, no, high standards. We One thing that Coach Evans always says is act like bros. Um, I mean, we won last year, so why can't we do it again? Like we have that mentality. It's something about reaching a championship. Not everybody has that edge. And I feel like we have that edge where we have experience going into it. And so like, yeah, that's our goal. Like, I don't think I'm like releasing a secret to the CSAC world that we're trying to chase the chip again. Because why would I come back if we weren't trying to chase the chip again? And we have the ability to. And when we work hard every day in practice, we push ourselves. I'm not gonna like reveal any like things we do, obviously, but
For
like
sure, yeah, yeah.
we work hard. I feel like anybody who sees us play would say that we work really hard, because we're playing for something different. We're playing for the Lord, and I know that sounds so cliche, but like it's the truth. Like we go out there and work hard and give everything we have to show the Lord that we're thankful for the gifts that He has given us. Like what kind of athletes would we be if we didn't go out there and give everything we had? So like that's always been our mindset, and if we do that, we always say the results will take care of itself. Act like
Right.
pros, work hard, it'll take care of itself. So yeah, our team is definitely trying to chase that chip again. And a lot of we're all talented, and there's a few really talented players on the team, and they have their own personal goals. I'm not going to reveal their goals, but like, we could definitely at the end of the year be seeing a lot of our names up on that final awards, and a lot of our names up on that whatever you want to call it, the end of the year awards.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. So you kind of touched on, when we talked the other day, just about a couple other people in the conference, and obviously throughout your time here, I feel like the competition has started to grow, it started to expand,
Yeah.
and there's literally no clear-cut winners. It's bump every night, and you got to
Mhm.
appreciate that when you're playing a game of basketball. Um, and another thing that you kind of mentioned, is just giving kudos to different players around the league.
Mhm.
And that's a sign of sportsmanship. So let's kind of talk about, what does sportsmanship mean to you, and how do you value it? And then also, just some of the teams in the league and how much you respect them and but obviously you're gonna compete every day, but just that respect that you have for them.
Yeah, what tone? That's something that means a lot to me. I love playing CSAC games because I love seeing some of the players that I've been playing against for 4 years. Like Ashley from Cedar Crest, I always dab her up because like she's a bucket. Like she just shoots the lights out. Like and we played them the other day and we dabbed them up and I was like, "How you doing?" Like I mean, that's the privilege of playing D3 and being in the CSEC. Like you see familiar faces and you're able to compete. Like, man, I love competing against great players. So, for example, like Keystone, we played Keystone in the championship last year. Bella and Mac and Lee, like after the game, we didn't go celebrate. We dabbed them up because we're like, you know what, like this was a great game and we appreciated competing against you. And we're cool with them. Like we've always been cool with them. Like it's like super cool like to have those relationships going forward. Like I know Lee's looking to come to a couple games and because she's in the area and it's just like we always respect our opponents. Um I mean this year like we're coming. We were ranked fifth in the league. So like obviously according to the rankings, there's four other teams that are better than us. You don't think we're gonna come and compete against them? We respect them, but we're coming and we're gonna work hard. And it's just like, but like they know that. Like I feel like the league, like what's special about the league is that we all have like majority of us has a respect for each other.
Yeah.
Like I respect Notre Dame, I respect what they're doing over there. Like I always respect Keystone, like that's our rival. Like, but like I love playing against Keystone because it's just fun. So it's
And
just
it's right down
like
the street for you.
right down the street. Like
Yeah.
those games are packed. Like and so like that's always fun to go out there and like respect and like I know I got mad people from CSAC on Instagram and like there's so many people have like slid over my DMs like when I got like player of the year or like this year like player of the week and they're like congratulations like you're tough and like I did the same with some of the girls like that shooter from Keystone like it's literally like a little family like and I know that sounds so crazy but like it really is and like I love that. I love competing and being cool with people on the court. Cause like at the end of the day, we all love basketball and we all love to compete.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that kind of leads us to our next topic of kind of YD3. That's a major hashtag going around in the NCAA world. YD3, and you kind of hit it right on the head there. When in Division 3, you have your opportunities to not only be great at what you want to do in life academically and outside of your sport, but also in your sport. It's a lot of competition every single night, especially in conference. And sometimes you have those quote unquote rivals, but at the end of the day, we all know like you said, it's a family. So
Mm-hmm.
um, obviously you're playing Division 3 right now, and you've had some great success. Just explore like what Division 3 has meant to you.
Man, everything. That's one of the reasons why I chose to go D3 because it's just like in D1, like I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong because some people love that grind. It's just like go, 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 like I don't know, they lift in the morning, run in the afternoon, practice in the evening. Like it's awesome. I love that. And I'm not saying not some of these three schools don't have that, but at the same time, it's more than that. It's like
Right.
actually taking time with each other, actually spending time as a family, um, having a life outside of basketball. Like I mean, I think that's so important. I think that like D3 we're able to compete. Oh my goodness, compete. And I'm not saying the level of talent is any less. I think there's some super talented D3 players like here. But we were able to go and compete and we're also able to take time off the court to spend time with our family or like spend time with friends. And like I said, like we were talking about, like invest in our future. Um, and so I wouldn't want to play anywhere else but here and nowhere else but D3 because I think it's an opportunity for you to have it all. You're able to still enjoy life, you're able to still compete at a super high level, but you're also able to just be with some friends and family and like really build relationships outside of that. Um, so I think it's super special and I think it's really cool. Like you will leave the league with bonds with people that you never thought you would
Exactly.
have. Leave the NCAA with bonds you never thought you would have. And so that's something like even now, if I never came back, that's something I would have already appreciated because I already had built so many things. And now this fifth year, I'm starting to build more, and it's just like I just feel grateful and so blessed for the opportunity to have been able to play D3 basketball.
Right. And I feel as though there's kind of like a little stigma, if you will, with
Mhm.
playing in Division 3. We have a lot of trainers nowadays, kind of train their kids and let them know like, oh, like this D1 is nothing, but that's obviously not the case. It's really, what the right fit is for you, whether if that's at a Division 1 school, Division 2 or 3 school, you know. And Division 3, they do have a lot to offer, and it's very unique for our student athletes as well.
Mhm.
So I'm glad you appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it when I played in it as well.
Yeah.
Um, so let's transition a little bit to like some adversity. As we know, you had to overcome a lot of adversity,
Mhm.
with your injury leading up into your next year after that when you won the chip. So and also COVID, which hit us out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
kind of talk about that for us, and who kind of helped you, throughout that time through
Yeah.
adversity, and how you prevailed.
First of all, let me begin by saying I'm very blessed. Like obviously, like the injury was really tough. Like tearing my ACL was really tough, but I'm very blessed because I wake up every morning, I have breath in my lungs, and I'm alive, and I have my family. And I think that's one thing that I would give credit to. Give credit for helping me through that injury. Obviously, God, number one. Like obviously, I'm always gonna thank God, but my family, man, I love my family. I'm really close to my mom, my dad, my brother, and my grandmother. And also, like, I have a big family behind me, like aunts and uncles, cousins. But my mom, my dad, my brother, and my grandma, man, they were right by my side. They would drop anything for me. And that's something that, like I'm just so blessed to have. So blessed to have, because not everybody has that. I'm just so grateful for that, especially my mom. My mom is my best friend. Like I feel like a lot of people probably have seen my mom. She goes to a lot of away games and she comes to a lot of home games. A lot of people know my mom. I'm a Singleton. She'll look out for you like she's your own. And because of her and because of my family, um, I was able to get through that the tough times because we gathered together. We were together as a family, and also my team too. When I tore my ACL and Coach Harrison, they were all calling me, all texting me, checking in on me, praying for me, being there for me. They would do anything for me. And that's why I say like I always will appreciate CSU because it's truly a family. Because even faculty and staff, like they would look out for me as well. And so there would be no other place that I'd rather turn my ACL. Like I know that sounds so crazy, but like there would be no other place because I learned a lot and I also gained more family in the process. And so that's something I'll never forget and I'll always appreciate.
So when that happened, I was playing the story to me a little bit about you just out playing outside with your brother, and it kind of just happened. You didn't really even notice.
Yeah.
But once you went to the doctor and everything, and he let you know that, was there ever a time in your mind where you like, man, like I kind of just want to hang it up, or was it always, I want to keep going. After this, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get stronger.
Yeah. Actually I there was never a time where I was like I wanted to hang it up. Because I knew I had the support I needed to get back to where I wanted to be.
Right.
Like I said, at that point, we didn't want a chip yet year, and like that was a goal. Like that was my driving force. So like yeah, my ACL was torn for 4 months before I even knew. Like I was just out here walking on that thing, and I think it's so crazy. Because it's just like how you know their ACL is torn, but I didn't. When I found out, I never forget. I was laying on that table, and the guy was like, "Yeah, your ACL is torn." And I just had tears like streaming down the side of my face. But I knew in those tears that like it was all gonna be okay because I was gonna work hard and get back to where I wanted to be. But let me tell you, the amount of accolades that we had last year, I didn't imagine all that. Like I last year was just such a blessing being able to go to the tournament and winning MVP and our team winning the championship. Like obviously a championship was always my goal, but like wow, like God really blessed me despite what happened to me, and I will always thank Him for that.
Right. And you just mentioned, how you won the conference 20. Obviously, you went on to NCAA 20. Talk about that a little bit. How was that an experience? Obviously it's different. You're playing at a school outside of the conference. You see the selection show, you see your name get picked. Just kind of explain that whole process to us, and what that meant for your team.
Man, that was so cool. It was so cool going to the tournament. We just got treated like it was just royalty. Like, man, our hotel was nice. Like we had like our names on every door and we had like a charter bus to take us and It was just super, super, super cool. Like you all, I've always looked at like the selection show for like D1 and all that, and like that's why I said D3 is just as special. Like we have it too. Like we have the opportunity to do the kind of stuff too. So being able to tell people that I was being able to play in the big dance, man, like that was just super cool. We played a tough team in the first round, which was a kind of a bummer, and we lost. But to be fair, like it was our first time in a tournament, like that was expected, and so like that's why we want to get back there, we want to experience again, and maybe win a game or two. So we'll see what God has in store for us. If you work hard, I feel like we'll take care of the rest.
Hopefully it gets to that Sweet 16.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. That'd
Yeah.
be the goal.
All right. So we talked offline a little bit, about your career, after basketball.
Mhm.
And your response is real unique, and I really like that. So let's just kind of touch on that a little bit, for after the ball stops bouncing, even if you might not be thinking about it right now, there are opportunities there for you. So you want to just touch on that a
Yeah.
little bit.
So yeah, I do have opportunities to go pro. Like I have had a couple people reach out to me about possibly playing overseas, and I had no doubt that Coach Marv could take me there. Like I said, like he's that guy. But I'm not sure that's what God has in store for me. I might just head back home. We're looking to get a dog, and I might just spend time with my family, man. And 'cause life is short. My brother's gonna go off to college next year, and I might just take time with my family and maybe become a teacher back in my old high school, if Lord willing, or go do an internship for ministry somewhere. But like I said, I'm a Christian, and everything that drives me is for the glory of God. And so, that might not mean playing pro. Even though like people be like, you're crazy, like you have opportunity to do this. I'm like, that's not what it's about. Like that's not what life's about. Like that would make what makes you happy. And what will make me really happy is just to go home and be with my family and spend time with them. And um, but we'll see. You never know. You never know when that final buzzer goes off and my career is over. You never know as a basketball player, like what I might change my mind. So we'll see what God has in store for me.
Still up in here. Right now, you got to focus on what you can focus on right now.
Right, right.
Yep. Um, so you talk about your family a lot, and I
Mhm.
definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's discuss some of your role models in your life. And
Yeah.
as many as you want, honestly, but let's just discuss some of your role models and what kind of impact they've had on your life thus far and leading you to where you are and accomplishing your goals.
Yeah, I know I have a lot of role models. A lot of role models. Like I said, my mom, that's definitely my number one role model. The woman loves the Lord and she loves people. And I want to be half the mom she is someday. Um, my grandma too, like that's like also like my mom. Like I'm really close to her, and um, just like I said, she loves people well too. My dad, my dad teaches me in the way of the Lord, and he teaches me how to be a woman of God. And like I said, love people. And you know what? My little brother too. My little brother knows me well, and that's my best friend. He's just a good man. Like he's 17, and I'm so proud of him. And um, so someone's like obviously like the four of them like are mean a lot to me. I would say here there are a couple of people here that have really impacted my life. Like you probably won't know any of these names. My RD has heavily impacted my life. Like like we talk about mental health. Like off the court, has not always been easy for me. And so like having like to be able to go to her apartment and just talk to her about what's going on has been a huge blessing in my life. I have a couple of mentors here. Coach Holloway here, the Dean of Women here. Actually, I'm really close with too. And Bill Higley is my softball coach. They've all been a huge impact in my life. And what means the most to me is that like they cared about me even like when I wasn't like Liz, the amazing basketball player. Like that's what meant a lot to me. Like when I was done, I did turn my ACL, and like like not all like the stardom and the fame came with it. Like they really care about me, and so like that's why I think I just like have such strong ties to this place. Like that's why I came back, just because like like people really do care about you here. Um, Back home, I have a lot of mentors. Like obviously, you're not gonna know them. I'm not gonna say their names, but people who have like really poured into my life ever since I was a little girl, and like I seen the potential in me, and like those are people that you always say thank you, um, and never forget them. Our athletic department works really hard. Mr. Shao, our SID here have worked really hard to just like make sure like we have a good athletic experience. Like it's just all of it. Just like I don't know. There's just so many names I can't like thank everybody, but
Yeah.
like I'm just very thankful for the people who have impacted my life and my coaches back in my first school as well. I want to thank them for like paving the way for me and um as a person, as a player, for me to come here. So there's just so many people. I'm just so thankful for, and there's gonna be so many more as I grow in life, and the next steps I take that I'm gonna be thankful for as well. And so, like, never forget those people. I always tell people never forget the people who paved the way for you and who believed in you in the first place when you weren't on the pedestal. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I definitely know that, that they appreciate you and, all you're thankful for. So, I definitely they'll probably check out this show and they'll be smiling ear to ear once when they hear you shout them
Yeah,
out.
I hope so.
Um,
Hope so.
so to wrap up, we always ask our student athletes to give some words of advice for aspiring student athletes that just might need some words of encouragement, high school student athletes, or just anybody in general, just some advice that you can leave with somebody that might touch somebody.
Yeah. Um, I would say just like take a breath. I know it sounds so like simple, but like everything's okay. And just like focus on the things you can control, take one day at a time. I know it could just be really like chaotic with like you got a game today, practice tomorrow, game the next day, but like finals week is hectic and like it could be stressful. Like just focus on what you could focus on today, which is just doing your best today. That's what kind of has gotten me through this year, not through the year, because obviously like I'm appreciating it. But like saying, okay, today it's December 1st. How can I make today the best day possible? And just focus on that. Like at the end of the day, like it's all gonna be okay. Um, it's all gonna be okay. Just trust in God, um, trust in the people around you. Don't push people out, allow the right people in, and it's all gonna be okay. So I say that because I feel like that was probably my biggest struggle. Is like I have the tendency to like pile everything on and like be really stressed out. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me, which just makes everything worse. And so like what helped me is just to be able to just take a breath, do the best I could possibly do today, and that's all I could control, and just smile and be happy because I'm out here doing my best, and that's all that matters.
All right. I'm sure, people out here can definitely use that, sometimes life in general, not even just being a student athlete, but just life in general, things
Mm-hmm.
can pile on to you, but you just got to know, just take it a step at a time, right?
Absolutely, that's all you can do.
Exactly. But Liz, I think that's all we have today. We definitely appreciate you for being on this show. We're expecting a big year from you. Um,
Thank you.
Lots of continued sportsmanship, and we just appreciate you and good luck to you the rest of the way.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. I really do.